How's everybody doing today? I hope everyone had a nice 4th of July. I spent mine doing a variant cover and applying for tax permits, and then cleaning my office. Then we did some grilling, and we made some nice food and had some s'mores, even with the rain. But I figured I'd start off by showing off some of the sketch covers I've already done. And I'm planning on coloring some of these. I'm trying to get a stack of these done before San Diego. This is the first one. And I have the, hey, Brian, glad you made it. I hope you're feeling better, man. That was a nice picture you posted of the storm clouds. But yeah, this is the our villains, our antagonists from the first story, all caught by the undersea police, and then we have the correlator, Professor Prawn and Jana War, with their little placards, and same thing with Colonel Feathers, except he's saying cheese and smiling. Oh, nice. Get your hair all done up real nice. Yeah, no worries. Glad you could make it. Here's our first one. I've got a few other ones. Got a couple of headshots. And then these are the two that I have I've started. I'm going to work on this one, and it's a Undersea Hero saying, "Look tough, Krakus, grr," and then Krakus saying grr, and he's just trying to look angry. And then we've got a scared fish over here in the corner. And then this one's actually based on a true story. When I was a little chubby me, I had bought some nachos and was about to eat them by the water, and a seagull, when I went to throw something away, came over and took the entire plate of nachos and flew away with them. And Undersea Hero is going to be eating a burrito, and Krakus is going to be looking sad when Undersea Hero is asking, "How were your nachos?" And he's going to say, "They were good." And you'll see a seagull carrying nachos with like a few chips falling down, flying away. Based on a true story. I'm even going to have a little caption that says that. But yeah, chubby little me had his nachos stolen by a seagull when he was a child. But yeah, we're going to work on this one. I got my big giant banner in the mail today. That's pretty exciting. And just a reminder, if you like and subscribe, if you're watching on YouTube, or if you like and share, if you're watching on Twitter, Facebook, or Twitch, you can subscribe also. Yeah, you'll be entered to have a signed copy, and I'll probably do a little Krakus sketch on it and Sharpie and mail it to you after San Diego. So if you can't make it to San Diego, this is a way to possibly get a copy. Sure. It was tragic, Jonathan. The great nacho theft of the seagull when I was, and I had no more money for lunch. So, and it was raining, and it was a sad, fat me, just hungry and without nachos, wearing like one of those very 1980s bright yellow raincoats. I've actually been really looking forward to this stream because I had to finish a pretty difficult cover for my friend Carissa, who she has a book called Redemption on Kickstarter right now. If she is in the comments, she's welcome to post a link to it if she likes. Feel free to throw it up there and have people check it out. I did a cover for one of their earlier books. And my buddy Nate Lovett is actually coloring this one for me, just because I have so much I have to get done in time for San Diego. And he's such a good colorist. He's actually the guy that got me to start doing digital colors and has really helped me my entire career. He's colored some of my Tick stuff. He's worked for Marvel. That's right, Jonathan. Seagulls are bastards. I could actually now show you the gigantic original for the Conan cover. If you can see it, I mean, this thing is massive. It's 2 full sheets, 11 by 17. And And the idea behind this cover was that, like, on the front, you see him being attacked by the giant monster, and then when you flip it open or you flip it over, and you see that Conan's already won and beaten the monster. We've got Belit here, which I was shocked they let me put her in. We got all kinds of skulls and armor and texture and stuff, and it's a gigantic piece. And that's available for pre-order. I'll have those at upcoming shows. And I actually just got approached by a store owner to do a Conan store signing at their shop, and I'm hoping to get the date nailed down, and I can announce that soon. But things are all systems go getting ready for San Diego. All the announcements are starting to happen for the show. You're seeing gigantic. Everybody said that Marvel and DC weren't going to be there, but Marvel itself is going to be there. Lots of creators. DC's animation division and their comic books are going to be there. So, it's going to be a good comic turnout, I think. It is very warm in my studio, so forgive me if you see any sweat drip down onto my drawing. I think it's very important to have the little scared fish in the lower right here. New Babylon 5 animated movie. There you go. I will not be able to see it. And if they're giving away anything free, the first year I went there, I made the mistake of being like, "Oh yeah, I can see if I can pick something up for you for a few people," and it was very quickly apparent that there is no picking up just willy nilly something for somebody at this show. I could pick up, like, if somebody commissioned an artist or something, that I could swing. Like if you were like, "Oh, I reached out to so and so," and he'll let you pick it up at his booth. Like that I could do. But someone saying like, "Hey, can you get this Funko Pop for me?" Or "Hey, can you get this thing for me?" It's just not possible at all. See if I can get the light a little better. Got my flyers. It's got a Kickstarter on one side with the QR code, and then it's got the live drawing on the back, which is where we are. It's where you are right now. I saw Straczynski will be there. They're actually having like a cast signing, and that was actually how I met the entire Tick cast. They had a cast signing. They did a big event. I got to meet, like Jackie Earl Haley and uh, Peter Serafinowicz and Griffin. I don't remember if I met Griffin for the first time there or at New York. It was probably there. But Griffin Newman played Arthur, and he was the biggest promoter of the show that I saw anywhere. This is me trying to get the proportionality right and the angle of certain lines, even for a little cover sketch. Hell, I remember I was asked to pick up a free button for someone, and I figured, oh yeah, no, if they give away 1,000,000 buttons, I'm sure I can just walk over to the booth and have them. And they have so many rules for the giveaways because like people pay for their trips to San Diego by getting these exclusives and selling them while they're there to people who couldn't get there. And I saw that the um, cartoon museum, the folks that run the art gallery were selling badges, and like it's the only way you could get there now at this point because it's been sold out for months, and they're all like over $1,000. I actually really like having dialogue on sketch covers. I think it's when it's actually funny. I think it's a lot more. I don't know. I like it a lot more. As I've said many a time, like I look at comic book art as the combination of words and pictures, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I actually like the imperfect lettering. If they Now, see, Jonathan, Skybound, their booth in the past was not far from where the NEC booth was. And, obviously, if they have like a giveaway, I can take a look, because I'm really actually for the first time in my life, I am looking forward to a Transformers comic book. And it's because Daniel Warren Johnson is drawing it and writing it. They're giving it to someone that I'm excited to read, do something cool with it. There have been tons of talented creators work on the books, but like, I don't know. It's exciting to me. I really like his work, and it's going to look so different. It just has to. You've got one of the seriously, Jonathan. It's got one of the most exciting creators in comics today, drawing and writing it. Like, it's going to be different. It's going to have a lot of action. Like, he doesn't do talking head books, and they're going to be dense. There's going to be tons of panels. I mean, it's going to be. I'm going to pick up the first one for myself, just off the shelf. But I could, if it starts nice, I could easily see it being the first time I put it on my pull. Every bit of art that I've seen of that book so far looks awesome. I also had an idea for another sketch cover of just having like a hermit crab knife fight going on. I keep sliding up the camera, I'm sorry. Part of what governs whether or not a sketch cover gets colored is if I screw it up. If I have to go in and use a bunch of whiteout, then I can't do watercolor on top of it. Ah, you've already got the name in for the poster, I see. I see how it is. Look, if I find any posters, I'll take a look. Yeah, the Skybound booth isn't, at least in the years past, I haven't looked at a map, but it wasn't too far from the NEC booth. But and the booth I'm going to be at is like right around the corner from where that used to be. I should probably make a graphic that tells people that, like show on the map where the NEC booth usually was and where I'll be. Excuse me. Here's my giant banner, Undersea Hero. It's 8 feet long. Or tall, I should say. It's 8 feet tall. What I actually have a very small space. So what I'm doing is I will have one banner hung on pipe and drape behind me, and then if there's room, I'll have one of my banner stands kind of to the side, and that's it. I have 3 feet of table space, 4 feet, 3 feet. So I'm only going to have Undersea Hero, maybe Conan if the books come in on time. And original artwork. Like that's what I'm going in with. It's crazy that I'm not like bringing Ninja Turtles and all these other well-known properties, and I'm just trying to make my own thing happen. But that's what I'm doing. That's what the plan is. But it also might be easier for people to, look at my stuff, not having too many choices. Sometimes I wonder if I have too many things on my table. So we'll find out. Yeah, splitting a booth with Doug Paskovich, who probably is cranking on some artwork right now. I haven't seen him in the comments section, so he's probably not here tonight. So, but we're throwing that Hail Mary, and I'm proud of this book. I think people who like my work on the Tick are gonna give it a shot, and I'm hoping that they'll like my writing. It's not exactly like the Tick, it's not, but it's my artwork, and it's my writing, and it's meant to be funny, and I'm hoping that people are entertained by that. Not everybody has the same sense of humor though, so I can't pretend that I know what everybody's going to find funny, but people who have read it have laughed, not with me standing over them saying, "You better laugh." hoping this week I can send it to a few of my pals, my media pals, and they can take a look at it. And this is just issue 0. It's a short story, a couple of shorts, some drawings, and a preview of the book that we're launching in November. And all the stuff that I'm doing leading up to that is really just to get people to give it a chance and take a look and hopefully support it then. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. 7. 8. I don't like that last one. Any of the new people that just popped in, just like and share the video, or like and subscribe, depending on which platform you're watching. And I will do a raffle to see who wins a copy of issue 0 mailed to them. And I did have someone ask me as far as like grading copies or things like that. I'm not doing any grading in advance of the show. I just don't have time. If there's a handful of copies left, I'll send a few to CGC. If they sell out, which that would be beyond my wildest dreams, but not impossible. I don't know. It's not beyond the wildest dreams, I guess. Like that would be just such a wonderful thing if it were to happen. It's not impossible, but it'll be tough. Let's thank our little friend here first. We should do the lettering first. That's right. Always do the lettering first. Let me see if my oval template is handy. Let's see if we got circles. There we go. This thing is worth its weight in gold if you hand letter anything. All these different oval sizes. Yeah, if I remember correctly, the booth will be, in years past, has been near the Titan booth and the Albatross booth and Comic Craft, Richard Starkings. So, but we'll see. I will. I think tomorrow, or at least over the weekend, I'll make a graphic that shows where I'm at in relation to where the old Tick booth always was. because the tick booth didn't move for like 30 years. So I don't really like that tail, so I might redraw that at some point. So did everybody have a good Fourth? Any good comic reading time in for folks? Titan, yes, they are the publisher of Conan. They published Doctor Who, the Blade Runner comics. I actually met the writer of the Blade Runner comics, Mello Brown, at Fan Expo Cleveland. Really nice fella, smart guy. Um, I've only read a handful of the Titan Blade Runner comics because so few stores carry their line. So many of them, you have to just, if you don't pre-order them, you never see them on a shelf anywhere, just with most of the independents anymore. And that makes it tough. I think it's one of the things that has benefited the Kickstarter publishers and self-publishers, and it's one of the things I'm hoping to succeed with this November. Besides, I've had people like yelling at me at shows for years that like, you need to do crowdfunding your books and all this stuff. And I mean, at the time I was working as much as I like, more than I could. If I get any copies of the Conan, like I'm already carrying so many copies of Undersea Hero in my suitcases. Like I'm literally going to be like stuffing the Conans like in my briefcase and my shirt jacket. One of the things I tend to like to do is have working in asymmetry, having the eyes be different on each side. It helps create depth. It creates a nice, visual interest in the expression. I mean, I'll do a stream and talk about, I can talk about Conan for a long time because I grew up. It's the book I read the most. Like I read Tick comics, I read Turtles comics, I read a handful of GI Joe. I was never a big GI Joe guy. I really did not read the Power Ranger comics when I was a kid. So as far as books that I've worked on that I read Sonia, I read a fair amount. Yeah. I really like the Amy Chu run. I think she was a really excellent writer on that book and did some interesting stuff with it. I've only met her once. I think she was at Boston, and I just went and said hello and just told her how much I enjoyed the comic. And it was actually I think that was the first time I ever had Red Sonja on my pull. So that's just another example of finding, and I'd never read anything of hers before. Someone had just said, Amy Chu's a really good writer. You should try this issue. And I think they did an inexpensive first issue, like $1 or 50-cent one. And it got me to pick up the next one. And then I was like, oh, I'll read the next one. And eventually I was fully reading the book. That inexpensive first issue did its job. Hey, Michael, I'm doing all right, man. I'm getting to draw my characters, which is always a thrill. Um, I spend so much time drawing everyone else's characters. I'm hoping, fingers crossed that when the first issue comes out and we finally get the Kickstarter rolling, that maybe, just maybe, people will ask for me to draw my characters at a convention at some point. But I'm doing all right. How are you doing, Michael? You were feeling under the weather before. I hope you're fully healed up. You were working on some inking, I think, for that David Bowie piece. If anyone's curious where the Undersea Hero hair comes from, the coif, where it's like kind of always moving. If you ever look at the old Jim Aparo Aquamans, he always had like the chunk of hair in the front that was flowing. Michael says he seems to be fully healed, working on line work on the last few pages of his book, and then comes the task to color it. Well, that's really exciting. Do you letter on the board, or are you going to letter after you color? Do you like to? How do you like to tackle that step? The older I get, the more I like hand lettering, because I don't need my lettering to be super clean or perfect. It just, to me, it actually fits the drawing better when it's just done with my hand. Like you can see, this lettering does not look perfect at all, but to me, it's legible. And on the Undersea Hero pages, like this is all hand lettering. It's all hand lettered, even the inside. Oh, here's a little Easter egg that no one other than me knows. This piece of wood you see here, this is actually a shingle from what was my family's house on Nantucket. I scanned it in, and I'm going to use it as my text box for the book. And if you buy the sketch cover, the cool thing is like, other than the artwork, seeing, the fold out poster, like we talked, you get the whole issue. You get the same, it's just got the extra case wrapping around it. Those are the sketch covers I like the best, where you actually get the regular cover on the inside. There we go. And if you're ever drawing Undersea Hero, um, what I like to point out is that most people, the middle of the face is the bridge of the nose, but for Undersea Hero, it's underneath the bottom of the nose. So if you're cutting the face in half, you want to make sure that the chin is the midpoint is at the bottom of the nose of the whole head. Michael says this book is digital. I may letter before and hand the black and white copy to a friend to look at and go over it and edit. I'll color the copy I have, and if they say I need more pages, I can come back to it. No, that's a smart idea. And having other people look at it, that's the right thing to do. Yeah, I know a lot of people who work just digitally now, and I've done it. There have been jobs that I have actually required it because they want the work to have a vector output, so they can make it like the size of a billboard or whatever. If any of my pals out on the West Coast are around, I shared a thing from Ben Edlin that there's a tick meetup for the picket line. The actors and writers and everybody from the show are going to be near. I think it's the Sony lot. If you wanted to show your support for the writers on strike and everybody, that would be. And if you're a fan of the tick and stuff, that would be a great opportunity to meet Ben and some of the cast and crew who created those TV shows. I'm not sure who all is going to be there. I know who some of their personal friends are, but I don't want to speculate. I just know for sure that Ben will be there. Thanks to these Kiritaki pens, I've actually been able to do a little bit more, these pocket brush things, a little bit more feathering and have it not look like garbage. I've actually been pleased with it, which is a rare thing for me because I have really shaky hands. So it's really tough for me to do some of the maneuvers with a pen to get those really slick lines. But thanks to these things, I'm able to get like enough of an approximation that I feel confident making those decisions. So you can see it gets a little, I'll bring it in, you can see that it gets a little sharper on the finish. And these are really easy to build up line thickness, which I also like. Been doing that a lot more on my work. I have some friends that'll be at the show in New Jersey this weekend at Contropolis. I will not be there, but my pal Ron Mars will be there. He's currently writing the Warlock and the Silver Surfer for Marvel. If you're in the area, be sure to pop in and say hello to him. He's a very nice fellow. He also wrote, what is it? The big game that's out right now, Diablo 2 or 4 or whatever the hell it is. I'm going to need to add a little bit of mustard to this speech bubble. Diablo 4, there you go. I don't know these things. I'm sorry. Although that I would say that's a project that I probably don't need to help my friend plug. It's a massively popular game series. I think it's the last day for my buddy Dylan Andrews' Kickstarter. That's another one that's going on right now. Actually, if it's still up when I get off the stream, I need to back that. I've been backing his books since he first started. He's a nice guy. He pops into the stream once in a while. He's another Northeastern-based artist that I see around the conventions from time to time. If you dig like old school Image comics, like that's his bread and butter. He loves that stuff. And when I mean old school Image, I mean like the Gen 1 Wildcats and Cyberforce and Spawn and all that stuff. The only book from that stuff that I still pick up every now and again is Savage Dragon, because I like Eric Larson's work. I never liked Spawn. Like the comic books. I picked up a few as a kid because they were popular amongst kids my age, and I wanted to see what all the fuss was about. But was not for me. Had some great artists on that book, like Polo. I remember at one point Wills Portaccio was drawing it. This wasn't for me. And I always had a limited budget, so I had to be a little, I had to curate what I picked up very closely. I hope I don't screw this one up, because I would like to color this one. I do have a few slots left for my commissions for the convention. I got one today, which was great. The only way I'm doing color anymore is from home. So if anyone ever wants a color piece from me, it has to be ordered in advance, because I'm not traveling with watercolors these days. I one time had an entire set of watercolors stolen out of my suitcase at an airport, because it was those little tubes. They confiscated in an entire set of brand new watercolors. That was not very smart. I did not pick out my light source yet. Hey, Alec, thanks a lot. And thanks very much for sharing my work, man. It's really nice of you to do. And I saw that you posted my Conan piece. That was really nice, man. Thank you. Sorry for the shaky cam, just cleaning up some of the pencil marks. Ugh, Gym City. I'm sorry, I will not be at Gym City this year, man. Um, yeah, it's the same weekend as San Diego. Thought Jesse put the word out, but I'm sorry you had to hear it from me here. But Jesse has told me that I am welcome back, and more likely than not, I will be back next year for Gym City. And honestly, I would go back to Cleveland too. I thought that was a nice little show. It's not a giant show. It's not one of the big fan expos. It's one of the probably the next size down. Yes, anyone that is eligible that likes and shares or likes and subscribes to my YouTube channel. I would love to get up to 200 folks on there. I have no idea how many subscriptions. It's probably like 1 million to get to where, YouTube pushes your content out more, but I like the slow but gradual growth that we've been having. And we'll probably do a Conan giveaway like this too, where, it'll be available on my website for sure. It's available now for pre-order, but I will make a point to do a giveaway. Yeah, I'm sorry. I love Gem City. I do. It's one of my favorite shows. The after event, the drink and draw that they do there is one of the just best in the country, in my opinion. It's at the Warped Wing Brewery, and basically all the comic guests go, regardless of you know how big their profile is or whatever. They all go. They all hang out. They all do drawings. The money benefits the local schools or the Hero Initiative. I think it was last year. Um, it's just a great event all around. Yes, big to doings going to San Diego. It's doing my best to promote where I'll be, what I'm doing, the new book, and we'll see what happens. I know the world's changed a lot, but I believe in doing our best and showing up to the ballpark. Yeah, I used to live in Ohio. That's true. That was how I met all of the like Daryl Banks and Nate Lovett and Sean Forney and all those guys. Was my time out there. Hey, I tell my friends to give Jesse a call, especially look if you're within driving distance of that show, it's a great show to be at. I know that I have other friends out there like my buddy Shane was telling me that there's so many new shows now in the area. Like I think he said there's one like in Canton now. I think that's what he said. When I was in school, the only convention that was around that area was a tiny little one. And you had Mid Ohio Con, and you had the Buckeye Comic-Con, and you had these other little tiny shows at like the Knights of Columbus halls and stuff. There really wasn't anything else as far as conventions go, because I used to help out at a store, and we would pack up this van to the point with dollar books and stuff to the point where like if we hit a bump, you would hear the wheels hit up into the wheel wells. It would like make a wow sound. Not safe, I know. But yeah, I basically did every show in the state at one point, except for Cincinnati, because I had graduated high school and came back to New England when I went to college. Oh, Michael T. Gilbert's going to be there. That's great. Yeah, Mr. Monster is awesome. Great comic book. I actually bought a drawing from him the first time I went out to Gem City because I'd never met him at a convention before. And he did a beautiful Aquaman for me. I have it posted in my Comic Art Fans gallery. Yeah, it's crazy how many conventions there are now at this point. It's impossible to keep up. And like the good ones stick around, and yeah, the first pro I ever met was Daryl Banks. I was extremely lucky because he's a heck of an artist, a really nice guy, and he'd been a teacher, so he had infinite patience for my 10 gajillion questions. I think I bought like 20 some odd pieces of his art over the years. Pages from Green Lantern, Justice League. I got a page from X-Men. Tons of stuff. Alex says, yeah, he's a really nice guy. I got to meet him at my first con there, and his art just drew my eye, and I've been hooked for Mr. Monster ever since. I got the marker sketch from him actually hanging right next to your stuff he did for me. Oh, awesome. You got a, hey, good company if I'm hanging next to a Michael T. Gilbert. How about that? Another scared little fish here. Alex says his new thing is when he can afford it, he's been getting Mr. Monster sketches from different artists. See, I love when collectors have like, a sketchbook that has like a theme, or if they just have a character that then you can actually get to see all the different takes on it. I actually, it makes me nervous carrying that sketchbook like back to the hotel or whatever if I need to finish it, but I definitely enjoy seeing it. Hey, thanks a lot for hanging out, man. Good luck with the work. Mr. Monster. That was a comic that I definitely found in the 50-cent bins of my youth. And some creators actually take offense when I say I find their work, in the bargain bins of comics, but I actually hold the opposite opinion. Like, um, I think it's really important to have, however somebody finds your work, if they are coming up to you at a show and telling you how much they like your work, I mean, how is that not a win? So many creators I found their work that way. Thank you, man. We got one more show, two more live streams, one or two. I think I leave Thursday, so like if we do a stream like the day before, it'll be brief. I'm actually going to be swapping out. I've been using these same sable brush tips for close to a year, and I've got some new ones. I'm going to swap this out and replace the sad, frayed-looking one with this one, and I'll have a fresh new one to roll into the show with. I've actually had shows like at altitude. Like if you ever do a show like the show at Colorado Springs, um, the altitude will mess with your pens. So I have to bring backup materials that are not affected by altitude. San Diego's at sea level. Like you can see the Pacific Ocean, from basically from your booth. Um, I know 7. We might get this ink tonight. We got a shot. We got a shot. It is stuffy in here, let me tell you. Probably gonna have to take a shower. I'm really interested to see how people react to this character in this book. I don't know. It's my first time putting out something quite this silly. Back when I was in school, I used to draw a lot more silly stuff. It's really just been since I've been doing other comics that aren't as silly that I've been drawing less silly stuff, and I like having that excuse of like it's supposed to be silly. And it kind of gives myself some freedom when I'm drawing. I don't think I've missed any questions, but I hope everybody's doing well. I will say the fireworks in my neighborhood started at about 9:30 in the morning yesterday, which was a little too early. A little early. Not only is it not dark out, it is early and in broad daylight. If anyone ever decides to draw Crackus, the trick with these suction cups is they're just little bowls. Like a cereal bowl. You just draw those over and over again. And they can be different shapes because they actually are soft. So they change shape all the time. One can be almost perfect, then the next one can be a little weird next to it. You can get some interesting bits of movement out of drawing them differently. Could I see the cities show from home? No, I couldn't. Like, I can see a few of the like higher up ones, but like for the most part, I could not see it. No. Did you guys go to the waterfront? Yeah, because we've got all kinds of houses all over the place that are very tall, triple deckers or whatever. It's tough to see around those. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the Crackus's spots, they change all the time. They change shape, change color. So you can just kind of go hog wild with those. He's like a little torpedo shape with tentacles. He's pretty easy to draw. I think if I ever had to go back to doing any class work, I did some stuff at a local elementary school, did some drawing lessons a couple of years ago. I think I would teach the class how to draw Crackus if I was afforded that opportunity again. John says, no, he was in bed by 9:30. I can't stay up late on a work night anymore. Nope, I agree. We watched One Crazy Summer and just made dinner and stuff. It's one of my annual summer must-watch movies. Because it was filmed on Nantucket. Or at least part of it was. Some of it was filmed on the Cape. Some of it was on Martha's Vineyard. Yeah, line this back up. One of the things from a design standpoint that I always try to have is a specific mark of sorts. so that you can break up visually even without color. And with Krakus, it's the little dots. If you ever have something confusing with the background and you need a way to like differentiate, just throw a couple little dots on the tentacle. Brian says, I love the Godzilla scene with the Chinese investors and the architectural condo models. Yeah. It is a classic, yeah. I actually, I would ask, I've met a number of the cast members of that show. I have not met Bobcat Goldthwait, and I would ask him if he was in the suit and if he got to smash the Beckerstead Estates model in the suit. And the bank that they show was actually the bank that I signed up for my first account at as a little kid. It was a Pacific National Bank, which eventually got bought by Bank of America. So my account was transferred over to that when they bought out the bank. One of them was. So. But yeah, Pacific National. And I think I actually applied for my first business account there too. I think that was my first art account. And it's always been Fat Cat Funnies. That was always my little company. I could talk about my time on that island ad nauseum. So very much was a home for me. I haven't been back in a few years. Oh, thanks so much. I caught your animation. That was very cool. It's a sad story, but it was very well done. Thank you very much. Yeah, 2 weeks away. 2 weeks. Trying to be as prepared as I can. Got my sales permit, got the hotel paid for, got books in hand. Air travel is paid for. So we're doing our very best. There's all kinds of news coming out at San Diego, so I'm sure we'll see more stuff come out as it goes. They just announced all the DC movies are going to be there for the animated section. I know they said James Gunn won't be there, but the animated, I'm not sure if that's entirely true because they got that Creature Commandos movie they're working on, which my pal Pat Broderick co-created them. I was happy to see one of the books he worked on getting turned into a film. I don't like war books, but I always thought that was just a fun comic book. Like if you can't just have a bunch of monsters, monster soldiers. Oh yeah, no, I saw it. It looked very cool. Yeah, the cartoon was neat. I've played around with a little bit with animation, but it is super, super difficult. At some point, I'll have to ask you what tools or programs you use for your stuff. Because I've been trying to make a little animated like Krakus for the Kickstarter. That's one of the things I've been trying to figure out how to do. $9.25. I haven't even checked if we gotten any shares. Oh, but I got messages. Why do I always have messages? Always messages. No, it's from someone I know, so that's okay. That's a good message. I think we need a few more dots. So you can tell that that's his. Well, Blazing Combat is a little different. That's a very anti-war book. That's like the. It's done by Harvey Kurtzman, so it's like on a different tier from a craft level. Beautifully done. The stuff that I really don't like is just the stuff that I feel glorifies. You know, basically the John Wayne movies on paper. And, you know, obviously a whole generation loved John Wayne movies. Toon Boom Software. I'll have to take a look and see what that is. Oh yeah, so it's meant to be silly. That's the idea. It's fun to draw. I hope it's fun for people to read. And you know, I know the trailer I made was super corny, but like I don't know, I'm pretty corny. I've got some pretty corny jokes that I tell, and I like corny movies and books. So I'm a little corny. You know, I want to have just I wanted to have something, and it's in the essay in the book, that is just, it's impossible to not have fun drawing. You know, I labor over so many drawings. Like the last variant cover that I just did for my pal Carissa, and it's no fault of hers. It's just my own stupid brain telling me, like, I had to start that thing over like 4 times. And I think it came out better in the end because of it, but it's just like, it's laboring. It's just like, sometimes creating stuff, especially when I'm asked to be serious, and it's, you know, when the material requires you to be serious, it's sometimes really hard for me. I really do have a hard time with overly dramatic takes of like really of genre material. I actually think I would really enjoy, because I've never been afforded the opportunity. I think I would really enjoy doing something historical that deserves the weight of some of the storytelling weight of the seriousness. It would be less, you know, it would be more, I think, in keeping with my mindset that I could do it better. I think that's what I'm trying to say. It's not a it was just a bad roundabout way of saying I think I would do a better job staying focused and being productive if it was, maybe, if I was going in a serious tone, if it was more in that direction. Does that make sense? I don't know. It's what's between my ears that's the problem. It's not anybody else. But yeah, you know, with everything that's gone on in my life and things like that, I needed something that was really good and happy to draw. And I could tell stupid jokes. Like, I don't know, people that have bought my Tick sketch covers, I always tried to put a stupid joke if I wasn't super rushed. Even when I was rushed, I would try to come up with like a little quip or a one-liner or something fun, and that's a tradition I can carry on with Undersea Hero. I had considered making an ad, you know, that tried to tie my work to the Tick with Undersea Hero without breaking any laws as far as trademark goes. And the only thing I came up with was is that it would be my name as drawing something big and blue. Or if you like my work on drawing things that are big and blue, give Undersea Hero a try. I don't know. I was workshopping that one. And then we can add some water bubbles anywhere we want to add a little bit more zip to it. We can add some coral or some little gravel. That way we can show the fish shadow in front of it. And we can put some over on this side. I have trouble concentrating on line thickness when I'm on the stream, and I usually fix it when I'm off the stream. I don't know why, it's just something I have trouble picturing. Let's flatten out. Let's make sure let's see, in each one of these channels, it just is a visual cue that that's water. Even if I didn't color this, you would know that it's water. And that's the idea. That's the cartoonist shorthand. That's something that is very much broken down in a better way than I just explained it in Graphic Storytelling and Visual Narrative by Will Eisner. It's one of those must-have books for comic creators and visual storytellers. I put a little bit of arm hair on my guy. Because again, you can just visually tell that this is not the same as this, is not the same as this. If you just have open space next to each other, you can't always tell the depth, or you can't always tell that it's something different visually. So that's the idea behind that. Have I colored one of these covers yet? No, I've got like 3 or 4 of them, and I'm gonna do them all at once. So I'm gonna do all the I'm gonna take a day, do all the underpainting, and then just color each one. And then I'll have a stack of finished color. But the other thing is like, when people are looking to buy a sketch cover from me, they're not always looking to spend, a couple $100. And I realize that like my colored sketches are they're more expensive. And a lot of the people that support my work are new to comic art collecting, which I love. And I like having stuff that's available at a more enticing price point for new collectors. And also just as an add-on, like somebody's walking down an aisleway and they're like, "Oh, cool, a sketch for 20 bucks out of the binder." But I'll be around this weekend if you want to get together. Maybe you could help me do some of the underpainting, Jonathan. I'm hoping to finally get to a comic book store. I still have not done that in ages. I've just been so busy with everything, and now that I've come through on the other side, I'm really just right now. I'm packing. I'm getting everything together. I have some tax paperwork to file, and these sketch covers to do, and some other just pieces of art on paper. That could change obviously if I get a bunch of commissions for San Diego tomorrow. But at the current level, I only have a few, and 2 of them are smaller pieces. So only 1 full figure. The other 2 were busts, which totally cool. I actually really like drawing just like the partial one. I don't have to fuss about the composition as much when it's a bust. It's also one of the reasons why those are so much cheaper. It's because it's just like I'm just practicing facial expressions and anatomy and lighting instead of also composition. When you add that next level, especially if somebody wants like a full figure on a sketch cover, I will labor over that quite a bit. Well, it looks like we did finish this one, at least for inking purposes. I've also been practicing just my quick headshots. I've done a few of those because I honestly just haven't drawn Undersea Hero enough to have those in like muscle memory yet. So I've been practicing those. But I'll just keep working on it. I'll get it down eventually because I've got a lot of pages to draw, and hopefully, I'm going to talk to a couple of people soon that might be interested in doing variant covers. You know, because issue 0 would be an inexpensive exclusive variant if somebody wanted to do one, especially if they wanted to do it for release before the Kickstarter to help me promote it, because obviously we have the big ad on the back of the inside. Anything to help get the word out. I'm going to try to, like I said, I got that Conan signing, and I'll bring Undersea Hero stuff to that. I'll see if maybe NEC will let me do an event at one of their stores during or before the campaign. I'll probably reach out to my pals at Rubber Chicken to see if I can take a drive up there and just hang out for a day and do sketches and hand out flyers and stuff. Those guys are great. They're just Joe and yeah, Joe and Jay and everybody. Josh, the J brothers there, the 3 J's. They had a new person working there the last time I was there. I don't believe their name started with J. Comic run is doable. Me painting for you. Yikes. I'd show you how to do it. It's easy. Maybe underpainting wouldn't be the way to go, and actually just applying the color on top, because it's at that the shading is the underpainting. The paint on top is just paint by numbers. I'm gonna have to add just a tiny bit of white there when I color this, but we didn't screw it up too much, so we're gonna be able to color this one, which that's exciting. But it needs to just be filled in. And on the back of these, because again, I've seen too many unknown artists. Here's 1.5. I usually sign the back. Go. Is 7, 5, 23, and then I'll in color do the date that it was colored. Well, it's 9:43. Unless you guys want to see me draw something like a quick headshot or something, we might call it early. Which, shocking. This one's 2 full figures. Headshot. I'll probably do one with Jan on it, because it's the pretty lady of the book. Oops, hit the camera. Sorry, guys. Thank you, Mike. And if you've already subscribed to the channels and stuff, you just have to like the video, and you'll be entered into the raffle. Cam191. Oh, thank you so much over on Twitch. Yeah. Well, let's call it an early night. Everybody had a nice holiday, and yeah, we'll be back next Wednesday. I'm not sure what I'll be working on then. It might be a commission for the show, and it might be another sketch cover. So, um, thanks everybody, and I hope to see you next week. Good night.